Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is John. I post music content weekly, tutorials, demos, lessons, things like that, vlogs, anything fun. So if you guys are into that, be sure to hit the subscribe button because it's really going to help me out a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So this week what we're going to talk about is, This week what we're going to talk about is 7th chords. What is a 7th chord? A 7th chord is just a triad, whether it's major, minor, diminished, with a 7th scale degree on top of it. A couple things before you get into 7th chords. If you don't understand the diatonic chords in a major key signature, you should probably learn that first. And I made another video on it, so if you guys want to watch that, check it out first because you might get lost. Another thing is understanding scale degrees and stuff like that. If you don't understand scale degrees, you might get a little lost with this as well. Major and minor scales also. If you know those, you should be good. So let's kind of get right into it. If you haven't seen them, check out my videos first and then come back to this one. Before even getting into 7th chords, there's a couple different kinds of 7th chords. The first one is going to be a major 7th chord, which is where you have a major triad and then a major 7th interval. Next one is a minor 7th, where you have a minor triad, then also a minor 7th interval. And the next one is going to be dominant 7, which is a major triad, but you have a flat 7th. So it adds a very bluesy kind of feel to it, which is really nice. Then you have the minor 7 flat 5, which is typically built off of the 7th scale degree in a major scale. Other than that, obviously you have different kinds of 7th chords, but for the most part, we're gonna stick with those for right now. So our diatonic chords in a major key, for instance, let's take the key of C major. We have our first chord is obviously C, then we have D, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, E major, A minor, right? And then B diminished. Since we know the diatonic chords in a major key, that's going to be pretty useful or pretty helpful, because then all you do is just add the 7th scale degree on top of it. So now we're in the key of C, therefore we're only using the notes that are in the key of C. Granted, there's tons of ways where you could slip outside of the key signature, but that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is just to give you the basic diatonic 7th chords in the key of C major. So for instance, let's take C, E, G. You have a major triad. And let's say I take the 7th scale degree, which is going to be B. That is now a major 7th chord. One, because I used the major scale to build it, and I'm using the major 7th interval. So I have a major triad, then I have the major 7th. So let's take D. D minor 7. If I were to play a D minor scale, that's going to be, you're going to get a D minor triad, right? The 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th of that scale, but you're also going to get the minor 7th of that. If you were to do the same thing for E minor, you're still going to get that same, you're still going to get that minor 7th interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. And as you can tell, that's also in the key of C. Right there. Okay. Let's say you start on the 4th scale degree, you're gonna get F, A, C, E, and that's gonna be a major 7th chord. Kind of nice, right? If you build it on the 5th note of the scale, you're going to get a dominant 7th chord. This is very popular in blues and stuff like that. It's known as kind of like maybe a turnaround chord. You could see, look, if I had that major 7, I would have this little guy in the middle. But since it's a flat 7, there's that flat 7 right there. It adds a very bluesy, very sound. You can almost hear that it just really wants to go to the 1 chord. Right? Next one, you're going to have a minor 7th chord. So you're going to have A minor 7. Then you're going to have a minor 7 flat 5, which is that diminished triad with that minor 7th on top of it. That's why it's called a minor 7 flat 5. It adds a little bit more flavor, right? So we talk a lot about food on this channel because I'm Italian, I love food. When you start layering different ingredients together, you're gonna get more of a complex taste. And it's kind of important to watch what you do with them, because if you start throwing in random flavors, it's not, you know, you could screw it up and it might not necessarily sound good, but sometimes adding in a lot of flavors is really nice. So that's like making the big jump between major chords or major triads versus major 7th triads, or even just any triad in general to a 7th chord. It just adds that extra note in there and it gives it a little bit more flavor, right? Instead of just a major, now I have that major 7. It's a little bit more complicated. Instead of D minor, now I have D minor 7. My favorite chords always change, but minor 7th chords are probably my favorite chords right now. Right? Instead of, now we have, I think the best thing still to this day that I'm still practicing is learn how to build chords on your own. So you take this knowledge, take this information, and figure out where I can apply it. So for instance, when I was learning how to play 7th chords, I would take the major scale and I would find the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th, and I would figure out different ways to arrange it. And you'd be surprised how much more you'll actually figure out on your own rather than watching a YouTube video. There's a lot of different ways to play things, and sometimes somebody else won't really show you the right way to, or the way that you might play something. Maybe I'll give you a couple of ways to build them. So let's take a major 7th chord with the root on the low E string. Okay, we're gonna start in C, always gonna start in C for me at least. Starting on the 8th fret, build your regular major chord, your major bar chord, okay? Now you're gonna alter your fingering so you can drop this octave down 1 semitone. So now that's gonna be B. So you're gonna play, you're gonna have it barred, and then you're gonna put your pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, put your middle finger on the 9th fret of the D string, and your ring finger on the 9th fret of the G string. So now you have this, which is really nice. Let's figure out another way to play a major 7th chord in that position. So we know where our roots are, right? We have the 8th fret of the E, we have the 10th fret of the D, and the 8th fret of the high E string. So let's take this root right here, the 10th fret of the D string. We could do this, right? Everybody knows this kind of major chord shape, right? All I'm doing is playing a bar chord without the bass notes in it. Now this is my root, so all I need to do is, excuse me, this on the high E string 8th fret is my root also. So we can drop that down, and now I can play the rest of that chord. And now I have that major 7th in there. Now I have C, E, G, and B. Sounds nice, right? Now let's take minor 7th chords. Let's say I wanted to play a C minor 7. We know that this is a major, and how to play a C minor is I take that major 3rd and I flat it. So now I have barred on the 8th, and then I have 10th fret of the A and then 10th fret of the D. So all I need to do is find out where that minor 7th note is. So look. If I play the minor scale, the natural minor scale on C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I naturally land on that A sharp, or B flat, excuse me. So now what I could do to make this a minor 7 chord is I could simply just lift up my pinky. Kind of nice. I know this is my root. This right here is my 5th, so I know that I have to have a flat 5. Now I know up here is another root. So now I have to have my minor third, which, where's my minor third? It's right there. It's right there. So I'm going to do this. I have my third, my fifth, my octave. So now where is my minor seventh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My minor seventh is right over here. So I really hope that helped, and if it did, just be sure to drop it a like, drop it a comment, and subscribe if you guys want to, of course. If there's anything that I can improve on, please let me know in the comments below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next Sunday.